Hello and welcome to Season 4 of the NGO Whisperer Show. My name is Dr. Carolyne Opinde. I am the founder of the NGO Whisperer and the convener of the NGO Whisperer Masterclass, the official sponsors of the NGO Whisperer Show. Joining us today from Ra'anana in Israel is Steve and Sheryl Puterman, the co-founders of Nourishment Vitality. Steve and Sheryl, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Dr. Carolyne. Great to be here.
Great to be here with everybody. And thank you, Dr. Carolyne, for having us on your show. We are founders of Nourishment Vitality, a 360 health and wellness platform specializing in stress, anxiety, and holistic weight management.
Today, we're going to look at stress, fatigue, and weight management, which is your area of specialty. And to kick us off, would you please tell us, who is Steve and Sheryl Puterman, and what attracted you to go into health and wellness space?
I've personally been studying metaphysical sciences ever since I was a teenager. It has been a part of my life that I have always been so passionate about, as well as that fascinating connection between the brain and the body and behavior. For many years, I had my own business as a cosmetologist, and I've been blessed to help so many people appreciate both their outer as well as their inner beauty, always focusing deeply on what truly matters. Now, what brought us both into the health and the wellness space is actually through our own life adversities. Carolyne, we are survivors of the 2004 Asian tsunami, which was part of both of our story with challenges, and most definitely a part of my story with challenges with fear and with uncertainty. On the 25th of December, 2004, my family and I arrived in Phuket, Thailand from Hong Kong, where we had moved to in the summer. And we were looking for a break after a hectic 6 months after settling into a new lifestyle in a new country with our 2 young sons. And we happened to be at the pool of the morning of the tsunami, when the tsunami hit. And this traumatic, life-changing event is what actually led me to my expertise and my studies on the science of stress, on the healing power of breath. Because once we returned from this very traumatic, life-changing event, I struggled with a tremendous amount of overwhelm and anxiety, and it really brought me to dive deeper into this area. Being in Hong Kong, I was very blessed to learn with some of the world's leading masters in these areas of stress and anxiety, mindfulness. And years later, this continued with nutritional psychology, the fascinating connection between the brain, body, and behavior, mind, body, nutrition, and Nourishment Vitality was founded. Now, having worked on 3 continents, both myself and Steve understand the tremendous importance to have correct strategies, correct structures, systems in place to ensure that ecosystems provide a productive and healthy work environment. The event of the tsunami left us with a very deep understanding, both of us, of human vulnerability. And Steve, his background is more commercial and commercial based.
Yes, so I come more from the business worlds, commercial, commerce, international business, but I have identified the very important understanding and expertise that Sheryl is able to bring to many people who actually don't have the option to receive the correct understandings of so many stress-induced conditions that we've seen, especially now during this recent past with the pandemic. So actually, myself and Sheryl, we create a very complementary and a balanced team between the creativity, the experience, the expertise and knowledge, and being able to implement and to execute our vision in where we can get to help many people all over the world.
What a powerful, powerful story that you are able to turn around a traumatic experience to create something beautiful for the whole world. And now that is going to take us through what really is Nourishment Vitality. What services do you offer?
Nourishment Vitality has three main verticals. We deal with our specific areas and expertise, which are in the stress and in the anxiety management, as well as in the holistic weight management, which incorporates nutritional psychology and the fascinating connection between the brain, body, and behavior. Not only focusing on the macronutrient area of what it is that you're eating, but more importantly, who you are as an eater. Now, our services that we offer are, firstly, we have a range of innovative, results-focused online courses, and these courses can be taken at your own pace, in the comfort of your own home, and at any time. I offer as well a more personal approach of individual coaching, which is tailored and focused on what is right for the client, bringing unique guidance for one's age, for one's individual stresses and lifestyles. And thirdly, we offer group and corporate workshops that are aimed to escalate team building and personal performance. And I'm so excited to speak about this, but hot off the press, Caroline, which I'm so incredibly proud of, we have just actually launched our latest online course, which is Optimize Life, Transforming Stress into More Success. Now, at a time we're navigating our way through this period of unprecedented stress, chaos, and uncertainty, Nourishment Vitality has developed this course so as to give the correct tools, the correct strategies to so many people who are feeling literally completely overwhelmed. Now, this online course is more than just learning how to manage stress. It incorporates how to face it and how to transform that energy into focus, to transform that energy into confidence, competence, and productivity. And I'd like to mention that the course content is suitable for teens around 15 plus all the way through to adults. And our Nourishment Vitality's current research actually shows, so important, that unresolved and unacknowledged stress is a major root cause of most symptoms and struggles within ourselves. Stress, at the end of the day, is so much more than that feeling of being rushed when you're facing a deadline. I actually believe that behind every physical and psychological symptom is stress. Behind every unwritten book, behind every unpursued project, unrealized dreams, dissatisfying relationships, painful conflicts, and yes, struggles with food and body is stress. But it's how we internalize the stress that will determine its outcome. I always say to my clients, and when I'm working with potential clients, do not let the stress build up before it blows up.
What a great advice. Do not let the stress build up before it blows up. You have dropped golden nuggets, and I just want to sit and learn from you. We're going straight into what is it that makes this approach effective based on the work that you have done, the companies, the people, the individuals that you serve through this approach?
And I would say to that, what makes our approach effective? Firstly, Nourishment Vitality, we are disrupting the allopathic methodology, the traditional allopathic methodology of healthcare, by encouraging and increasing the responsibilities and behaviors of people. our approach encourages and educates by taking a far more proactive approach to understanding personal health care, both physical and mental. Steve, what would you add to that?
Yes, Nourishment Vitality's approach to healthcare in general is we are bridging the gap between prevention and stress-induced conditions. It's so important to get to the concept that we know what is happening, but how do we get there, and to start to actually work in ensuring that we have a much safer future for ourselves and for our kids. And a very important principle that Nourishment Vitality has been founded on is that we are a shame-free, non-judgmental space. And this is very important, that people are kept back by those feelings of shame and to have that feeling of perhaps somebody's going to judge me. And that keeps many people stuck. This is one of our differences, where we encourage people to be able to have a space where they can be very open and speak their minds.
And truly let go of what no longer serves them.
How has COVID impacted your work? And how are you pivoting? Because this is really where you guys shine.
Absolutely. So that's a very interesting question, Caroline. And I'm always a guy who sees the glass half full and not half empty. And I think it's a very important that comes down to mindset. But COVID has actually given us, our new world, our new reality, a very clear proof of concept that all communication can now be held online. Now, this goes, as you mentioned, through education. It includes business. billion-dollar deals are being done online through one of the Zooms or whatever type of platform. And it's very importantly, it's also permeated through to our personal lives. So many more people are now have the opportunity to be more effective and active online through online interaction. Now, in terms of Nourishment Vitality, which we are a 360-degree online content-based health and wellness platform, specializing in the stress, the anxiety, and the nutritional psychology principles, we actually have not had to make too many changes. One of our main areas of pivot has been the cutting down of travel and physical events, where Sheryl has been invited to speak on numerous international stages or delivering workshops. So in fact, this has now changed to online global summits, webinars, masterminds, podcasts, etc. Like now that we are having together between Israel and the UK. So I believe that the change has brought about many new options into our new reality, and which has enabled us, Nourishment Vitality, to increase our reach far greater. And as you mentioned, the stresses of so many people in different areas, there are many people who prefer to actually live online, whether it be because they are in the higher brackets of health, they have to be more careful where they are, or it may suit people's personalities to be able to rather interact online in the comfort of their own homes, not having to get dressed up and to go out to travel, perhaps not have access to transport. And this now has enabled many more people to enjoy many more interests and to actually to learn, to get huge amounts of value and knowledge that is being offered online. So it's a very interesting time in our history of how the technology has been able to enhance people's lives and enable huge opportunities for people to work now anywhere in the world for any specific organizations. They may be in a completely different time zone, in a different part of the world, but as long as they are meeting their objectives, they can now be employed or work in many different fields and areas.
And just with the click of the button, you're able to communicate, to see and connect and develop these relationships with people from all four corners of the globe, which is truly amazing.
And it is truly amazing that, because of technology and what we have right now, we are able to have this show with you guys joining me from Ra'anana in Israel and me here in Manchester. So it is a blessing. And like you said, you prefer to see the glass half full than half empty. We really need to draw on the positives because there are things we cannot change, but we need to embrace and move on. And so as we move forward, how have you achieved sustainability in your model? Because your model is so powerful, 360-degree online platform that is helping people to address issues around stress, fatigue, and weight management. And let me just add, that is shame-free. I love that.
Absolutely. So being a content-based company, we are continually adding new content programs to our product offers. You know, we are constantly looking to increase our reach by collaborating with a range of platforms that understand that empowerment through education is the new model in terms of preventative healthcare and education. You know, we've seen the unfortunate statistics that are showing us how so many people are turning to bad habits or even re-triggering the old habits that are really not good for them. There's the increase, whether it's in the domestic violence or the people that are gaining weight because they've had what I call the Netflix syndrome over this last period of sitting in front of the telly or online and snacking, etc. There's also, we see the worrying trends developing with the depression, the self-sabotaging habits, and many more. So we are continually developing complementary programs that address these root causes of these stress-induced conditions. And Nourishment Vitality is working together with our collaborating partners. We are continually looking for additional collaborating partners where we can partner and get to many more people to help to build up the resilience in so many communities worldwide.
And what plans do you have for the next 12 months, even as you build collaborations and partnerships to address issues around stress, fatigue, and weight management?
Firstly, as Steve just mentioned, Nourishment Vitality, we have helped countless numbers of people, male, female, teenagers from many different sectors of society, from all over the world. In fact, when I had a look at our analytics this morning, we have now had visitors to our website from 117 countries. Our website has a very rich library of resources that are free for all of our visitors. We have our blogs, our videos, our podcasts, our articles that have been published in the press and much more. So guys, please do check out the resource button on the homepage at www.nourishmentvitality.com. And to answer your question, what are our plans for the next 12 months? This includes firstly increasing in our partnerships, our footprint and our traction, our library of content, and in our continued education, in continuing to empower others through education.
And what last message do you have for governments, for corporations, civil society organizations, and good citizens on stress management, fatigue, and weight management as a whole through your model?
Education and the preventative healthcare techniques have to be paramount in this new model of healthcare. We've clearly seen in this recent past the complete overwhelm and strain on both the public and the private healthcare sectors. And this has unfortunately been a worldwide phenomenon. And this effect has resulted in the inability to provide regular healthcare services to the general public. People have been consumed by the effects of the pandemic. And this has to now be a wake-up call to implement additional channels and strategies by governments, concerned third parties, and stakeholders, within the healthcare industry. Now, Nourishment Vitality provides an excellent solution to this problem because we provide a very first line of defense of tools and strategies in our online offer. we need to implement, and when I'm talking the system has to implement a low dollar cost model of healthcare in education now to prevent an ever increasing massive future value cost to the healthcare systems. And I'd also like to add that Nourishment Vitality is very passionate about bringing this needed relief to the less fortunate sectors of our societies who may not have the access to the healthcare channels, but are also desperate for the tools and strategies to be able to move themselves forward in their lives. I'd also like to just add that education, to be more specific, the healthcare and mental health care is paramount.
Yes, it is. We have to empower through education, and we have to give the correct tools and strategies into the hands of our youth to create the change for our future generations. And guys, we would love to hear from platforms or from organizations that align with this vision and to explore synergies and opportunities. So do reach out.
That's wonderful. For individuals, for corporations or departments of government who may be interested to collaborate with you to support the people working for them in the area of stress, fatigue, and weight management, what message do you have for them, and how can they find you?
They can find us. We are on many social platforms. Firstly, the company or our website, www.nourishmentvitality.com or www.sherylputerman.com. That's SHERYLPUTERMAN. Sheryl's or Nourishment Vitality, we are under Nourishment Vitality, Sheryl Puterman on Facebook. We are on Twitter. We've got our LinkedIn profiles. Nourishment Vitality has got its own LinkedIn page as well. We've got our YouTube channel. Through the websites, there are all the links to our contact details, and we'd love to hear where we have the synergies and we have the opportunities to be able to reach out, get to help so many people that are literally desperate for that first line of defense, which is so important, to plant those initial seeds, to give that spark, that hope, those understandings of how they can move forward in their lives.
Thank you so much. It's been a great honor and a pleasure to have you. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us today with Steve and Sheryl Puterman from Ra'anana in Israel, speaking to us about the work that they do in the area of stress, fatigue, and weight management. What a great, great calling. They turned their traumatic situation, having been survivors of the tsunami in 2004, and now giving us a gift from what they experienced and how they healed to the world. It is effective. We have seen that their model is shame-free. Go to their website, learn from them today. For companies, for individuals, for families, for governments, this works because they collaborate with a whole range of stakeholders. From here at the NGO Whisperer, we invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on social media, and remember, it's all about connecting people, raising funds, and impacting lives globally.